My name is Jeffrey Schwarz, and I'm the director of Vito. Vito is a documentary about Vito Russo, who was a gay activist and a film historian, film scholar. And he's famous for writing a book called The Celluloid Closet, which was the first book to catalog how gay and lesbian people were represented in Hollywood films. When I was coming out, I read The Celluloid Closet and it kind of rocked my world and opened up a whole new way of seeing movies. And around that time, Vito passed away. This was in 1990. And a couple years after that, I had read an interview with Rob Epstein and Jeffrey Friedman, the filmmakers, that they were going to be making a documentary out of, based on Vito's book, The Celluloid Closet. So I went out to San Francisco to work on it. It was my first job in the movie business. And it was during that experience that I really got to know Vito. He had just passed away. It was only a couple of years after he had been gone. But I had access to all of his original research materials and also interviews that Rob and Jeffrey had done with Vito while he was still alive. So I kind of knew that all this material existed. And then about 5 years or so ago, I started to realize that as time goes on, memory fades, and Vito's work and legacy were not being preserved, and his story was not being told. So I decided it was time to make a documentary to introduce him to the next generation. And we secured a lot of support from within the community, and Brian Singer, the director of X-Men, came aboard as our executive producer. So we got the film up on its feet and then brought it to HBO. And the film will be on HBO on July 23rd. People should come to see Vito because Vito, whether or not gay and lesbian civil rights is your personal issue, Vito was an inspiring figure that shows that one person can make a difference. Vito was a hero to our community, but he's a hero to everyone in the world who cares about injustice. A random fun fact about my film. We use a lot of film clips in the film to sort of show what Vito was talking about. During the course of motion picture history, gay people were always represented on film, sometimes in hidden ways that you have to kind of read between the lines, but sometimes very obviously. If you look at a lot of movies in the 30s and the 40s, there was always like kind of the Fred Astaire's sidekick, who might be a little bit light in the loafers, and they would call them sissy characters, and they were very much embraced by the audience. Everyone knew that these characters, they didn't necessarily know that they were gay, but they knew that they, were not quite, they were sort of the comic relief to the films. Sometimes gay and lesbian characters were represented in more sinister ways. They were sort of villains, psychopaths, killers. Like in Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, there's a movie that he made about a couple of killers, and it's so clear from watching the movie now that these were gay characters. I'm not so sure the general audience might have picked up on it back in the 50s. And also Vito talked about how gay characters a lot of the time would kill themselves at the end of the film. Time and time again, a gay character might get hit by a jump out the window or hang themselves or get hit by a falling tree. And he realized that the way Hollywood was representing gay people was doing some great psychic damage to gay people and also to the larger audience. Well, my next film is called I Am Divine, and it's about one of Baltimore's favorite sons. And it's a story of John Waters' muse, who starred in all these underground movies, The Pink Flamingos and Polyester and Female Trouble, and I've interviewed a lot of people in Baltimore. John and his whole crew of filmmakers, the Dreamland crew, were interviewed for this film. And actually, Divine's high school girlfriend just saw her. She was at the screening of Vito this morning. So I hope I'll be back here next year with a film about one of Baltimore's most famous citizens, aside from Edgar Allan Poe.